again, welcome to my channel. This is Jamey Iris, and I would definitely bring you today very important update regarding the arrival process here in the Philippines, especially if you are a non-OFW or if you're a balikbayan. And for me to actually really help you, it's better not only to hear it from the information that we read from the internet, but actually from someone who actually traveled from the United States. And at the same time, we will know from him what are the documents that are really required so that at least maybe you're hearing different information from different people, but what is the reality or what is really needed from you when you travel from the US to the Philippines. So I'm just so privileged and blessed to have with me my friend who just arrived from the Philippines, no, so who just arrived in the Philippines from the United States just a few days ago. But we'll know more the details from him. And because I kept asking him a lot of information so that I could share it to you, and I just requested from him, could he please do me a favor and at least be part of my TV show or my vlog so that at least we can help you out because there's so many information. And for me, I do my research, but what better way to get the information firsthand from the person who actually had flown from the United States, just like what I've said. And he actually really have done a lot of preparation. So what are those preparation? And he will tell us also the do's, the don'ts, and a lot of other tips. So let me welcome once again, let me welcome everyone, my friend. He's no other than Derrick Cosca. So Derrick is working as a health professional back in the United States. So, hi, Derrick.
Hi, Jamie. How are you?
I'm doing great. So thank you so much. Before we actually begin, so I just simply want to say thank you for everything that you will be sharing to me and at the same time to our viewers, simply because I know there are a lot of questions from our balikbayan and at the same time the non-OFW, especially if they will be flying now. So again, our month now is October. So I'm looking forward. There's so many updates that happen so fast. And Derrick knows about that. But he'll be telling us like what documents you need to prepare. So Derrick, let's just simply begin like before flying to the Philippines. What were the documents required from you and what did you actually prepare?
Well, so being a dual citizen, not from birth, but because my mom was born in the Philippines, and when I was born, she was still a Filipino citizen. It constitutes me for being or qualified to become a citizen of the Philippines. There was a long process for me doing that, and that could be a whole topic by itself. But we'll get into it, or we can maybe later if Jamie
Oh, that
persists.
will
Or
be great. Yes, of course. We would love that.
yeah. But anyway, so
Mhm.
I got my dual citizen last year, and I was able to come to the Philippines. But the process is a little bit different this time. So as of October 22nd, 2021, I was able to come to the Philippines. The one major thing that they want or they need is your One Health Pass. So you can either have that done via online, which is the healthpass.com.ph,
Right.
and it put all your information there. And then the same day, once you have all the information there, they'll actually have you upload your COVID-19 vaccination card. So if you're fully vaccinated, you can take a photo of that and then have it uploaded to your One Health Pass. That will help them greatly. But I noticed that when I came here, that One Health Pass QR code, or there's a OSS number that they go by, and they go by that for everything. And I'll explain that to you later. But so anyways, so your One Health Pass is what you need. Your COVID-19 vaccination card, if you have one, and which will help you, of course, with if you are worried about how many days of quarantine. So as of October 22, 2021, for fully vaccinated individuals such as me, and when I say fully vaccinated, you had 2 doses of either Moderna or Pfizer, and had at least 2 weeks after the last dose, they're considered fully vaccinated. And then if you had J&J or the Johnson and Johnson or Janssen, 1 dose is sufficient. But in my case, I'm fully vaccinated, so I have 2 doses of the Pfizer, plus I had my booster already. So I've had total of 3 doses already. So I'm super vaccinated already. And I've never been positive for COVID-19. So that's a plus. So anyways, I downloaded that, went to the airport. The first thing that they did was they did a temp check, and this is only I speak of from Philippine Airlines. Other airlines have their own way of conducting their process, but I only speak of Philippine Airlines, and this information is only coming from Philippine Airlines, IATF, and also the Bureau of Immigration in the Philippines. I recommend that you don't listen to your coworkers, to your family, your friends, also Facebook, especially Facebook, or any type of social media, because sometimes it's not that real news or real information. So I got there, they did a scan, and they gave me forms. One that says if you pack your own bags, which is pretty much standard, and then of course the One Health Pass. In my case, I did that already prior, so I didn't have to do that. But if you don't do your One Health Pass, they will help you in the airport. And this is just coming from San Francisco Airport. But it's recommended that you do it prior so that you can actually upload your vaccination card, which I did. And that was it. I did that, was able to check in, and then flew here just 4 days ago. And then when we arrived in Manila International Airport, which is Terminal 2, if you want to know which terminal.
Yes. How was it?
The flight, of course, was
It's a direct flight, right? Because
long. Yeah, 14 and a half hours.
That's long.
And it's hard too when, in my opinion, Philippine Airlines has horrendous food, so I don't really eat the whole flight.
Okay.
So I bring my food. But anyway, so once you arrive to Manila, in Manila Airport, one of the Coast Guards actually enters the plane, and then makes an announcement to everybody on board the process of what's going to happen. He goes into detail, and I already know what's happened, because I already done so many research. I've done so much homework. I've updated myself with the IATF website, also the Bureau of Immigration, and I'll have them added onto my Facebook as following the BI. Yeah. So that's how I get my information. Plus, all my coworkers at work always want to know what's going on, because they really want to go to the Philippines, and they know that I do my homework. So anyways,
that is why everyone I really also ask him whenever I give you information. That's why we're getting the information straight from him.
Yeah. So he tells us the announcement, then he gets off the plane, and then we get off the plane. First thing is we go to this booth. The booth, they will ask you for your One Health Pass QR code. So sometimes they would scan it, scannable QR code, and then the other booths I've noticed they've actually typed it in, which is your OSS number. You'll have a specific OSS number for yourself pertaining just to you, and then so they can either scan it or enter that. And then they will also ask for your COVID-19 vaccination card on the first booth. It was really fast. They scan it, look at your vaccination card, they take a picture of your vaccination card and your One Health Pass, and then you're cleared. Then you go to the next booth, which is probably 10 steps away. So it's one booth, next booth on the right behind it. On this booth, they ask again for your One Health Pass. I'm not sure if they scanned it or they directly typed it into their computer for the number, but that's not the point though. And they also asked for your proof of hotel accommodation. Now, if you are fully vaccinated like me,
Mm-hmm.
they want you to have at least 6 days or 5 nights, 6 days of stay in an accredited hotel. And I had mine on my phone because it was through hotels.com. And then they also took a picture of that with their phone. So, and then of course, their One Health Pass, they scan that. And then you're done. Okay, then you go to the third booth. The third booth,
What is the third booth? Yeah.
the third booth, they scanned or they typed in my One Health Pass. They looked at me for a second and they said,
Uh-huh.
"Oh, you're cleared." I said, "Okay." And then I asked the lady, "Okay, so when is my or what time do they come or am I qualified for the 5 day, 6 or 6
Oh,
day
yes.
quarantine?"
That's
She
a
said,
good
"Yes,
point.
you are qualified. You'll be swabbed on the 5th day." I said, "What time?" You go, "Oh, the next gentleman will tell you." So there's a fourth booth.
Oh,
The
wow.
fourth booth, they
Quite a
asked for
lot.
me. They asked me
Mm.
for the One Health Pass again. So it
Mm-hmm.
sounds like a lot of booths, but it's really fast because they're all close to each other,
That's good to hear.
right? So the last booth, they scanned it again,
Mm-hmm.
and they said, "Oh, you're clear." I said, oh, "Okay, so are you
Mm.
gonna tell me what time my my swab is?" The lady said that you would tell me. They're like, "Oh, they will email me." He gave me a little piece of paper
Mm-hmm.
with the Toxicare, which is the laboratory that they use, which is
Oh,
partnered with
yes.
Philippine Airlines.
Correct.
That's a
Mm-hmm.
smart number, a globe number, and a direct line, which is a landline number that I can call.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he said, if you have any questions, you can call these guys, but normally it's on that day and there's no specific time.
Oh, wait.
Perfect.
Before, since you're on it, how did you pay for it? Did you pay for it online or did you pay for it and how
Oh yeah, so
much?
that's another thing. So um, when you're back home in the U.S. or wherever you're coming from, when you do your One Health Pass, there'll be uh, an option to actually prepay for your swab, or you can pay when they get here for swab you, or you can pay the hotel. 3 different ways. And I just found out that if you're OFW, it's free, right?
Yes, it
Your
is.
stay, swab, and your food.
Yes,
But
yes.
if
And a
you're
different provider too.
right, but if you're not a senior citizen, it's 3,000 pesos, okay, or whatever that's equivalent to US dollar. And then if you're a senior citizen, it's 2,400. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't qualify. I don't qualify to be a senior citizen yet.
We still have a
So
long way to go, Deck.
still a long way to go. But anyways, so I prepaid. I didn't want
Mm-hmm.
to,
That's
go through
better.
not having any money. But I think they also
Mm.
accept foreign currency. If
Okay, that makes
I'm mistaken.
sense.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think they accept any credit cards or anything like that.
I see.
It's better if you had money already, or it's even
Cash.
a lot better if
Prepay.
you paid already. And I
Okay.
would actually, what I did was I printed the receipt in case
Ah,
they
very wise.
it. So I have that already with me as well. I also printed my One Health Pass just in case they can't scan my One Health Pass, or they
But
make
it's better to be
some
safe
kind of
than
excuse.
sorry.
Yeah, they can like an excuse that they didn't receive it. Well, I have proof that as well. I always have a plan B, sometimes a plan C, just in case stuff
I
like this
agree.
happens.
I
Yeah.
agree. Even me,
So
you'll never know what printed copy that they will be asking from you. It's
right,
better to have it rather than feel stressed in the airport.
right. So after that, it's
Mm-hmm.
pretty much the same process as if you pre-COVID. You go
Mm.
down, go to your immigration.
Okay.
Immigration officer just gets your what was that your that red card that you fill out
Oh, the
stating
arrival card.
the arrival card. Yes, the
Mm.
arrival card and your passport. In this case, I gave them both my passports, and they stamped both my U.S. and Philippine passport. And then after that, it's just getting your luggage in the terminal on the carousel that they assigned your carousel with.
How was
And
it? Was
then
it fast? Was it arranged
oh
already or was it
oh
still
it
in the
was it
carousel?
was a Oh, it was arranged. Most of it was already
Oh,
arranged.
that's good because it
Yeah,
takes time. The booths that you have to go through, so at least it gives a
yeah.
good arrangement. Okay,
It's
that's
actually a
cool.
lot. Yeah, it's actually a
Mm.
lot better now than it was before. Before people were
Mm.
shoving
Yes,
the yeah.
exactly.
So it's a lot better now.
Because I was talking to like last night, so I have another like he's a former colleague who just came from the Middle East. So I was just asking. He actually arrived in Terminal One, and I
Mm.
just asked him because in Clark where I arrived, the luggage were arranged, and I was just like what you've said. I was amazed because before it was really how to you have to not really bump, but it's like shoulder to shoulder, and you really have to
Oh yeah,
get through that. Very very crowded area where you have to get your luggage. So it's arranged already. That's the same with Terminal One.
it's
That's
not
good to
really
hear.
arranged, but it's all brought down and just put in a line.
Yes,
So it's not
yes,
arranged. The only
yes.
the only
Uh
airport I've
huh.
been to that's arranged and
Mm,
really in order is
yes, which
Tokyo.
one? Uh,
Only
the,
one Tokyo.
that's Japan. Really, I love
Yeah,
Japan.
yeah. So that's
And,
for,
yeah, yes.
that's
No,
another that's
we should
another
have
another.
traveled in Japan. Well, that will
Yeah,
be like in the future when pandemic is not.
yeah,
Of course. Anyway, so
yeah.
okay, so once you got your luggage, my
Mhm.
question is, have they provided you with transportation going to the hotel? Was there
Yeah.
someone at least giving you direction, or should you be the one as a
Okay,
non
so here,
OFW or balikbayan?
all right. So this is like what I said. After
Mm-hmm.
those booths,
Mm-hmm.
after that booth, it's like pre what do that pandemic. So in the past,
Mm.
do you have anybody watching getting you a ride? No. Same issue. I get my
Mm.
luggage. And then before you go out, there's a Coast Guard. You give them
Yes.
the kind of the form, the
The
white form. They
customs
fill out
declaration form. Yeah.
forms, and he goes,
Mhm.
"All right, you're off to go. You can go now." I'm like, "Okay." I go outside. Nothing. There's a line. You can go for a taxi. There's a line for this and that.
Oh, really? Mm.
Basically, you're free,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of scary.
Mm-mm.
Um, if I wanted to, let's say I didn't want to get swabbed, I can
Mm.
actually not get swabbed, and they'll have to find me
Mm.
somewhere, you know. But I
Okay.
don't want to say that. I want to abide by the rules so that I can
Of
actually come
course.
back to
Mm-hmm.
the Philippines. Um, but no one's telling me where to go. There is a
So it's
part there
quite.
where
Mm-hmm.
OFWs are being assigned.
Yes, yes,
Because
we have an
everything, all
assignment.
those guys, yeah, because
Mm.
they're paid by the government, right? So of
Yes,
course
exactly.
they're taking care of those guys. But like for
Mm-hmm.
us, who are we're paying for our own expenses, there's nobody there at all.
So just a question, because what I've read also, like, before you, once you go out of the terminal, usually they will give you information like what transportation to take. Like they say they have different colored coupon taxis. But then again, so it's simply up to you if you had arranged anything with your hotel. So just like what you've
Yeah,
said, no one actually guides you, just like the OFW. So it's
yeah.
you're on your own.
And I would recommend if you're used to like riding taxis or getting your own
Mm-hmm.
ride, I recommend just doing that because you save a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. Did you do
You go
Grab?
through. No, I didn't do Grabs. I didn't
Mm.
have a SIM card yet.
Oh,
Um,
okay, got that.
and for some reason, that's what I was asking for. I haven't got a
Mm-hmm.
hold of a police officer, and they couldn't tell me where I can get a SIM card. So,
Oh,
so they just
that
they just
terminal
they
pay.
just
Mm.
told me where I can get a taxi,
Okay.
and it was pretty cheap. But it's pretty safe though because they ask you your name, where you're
Oh,
going, you write
yes, yes.
on this piece of paper, and they make sure
That's
that
good.
that taxi is being monitored and where they're going.
Mm-hmm. So, to
But
our viewers, please, again, if ever you'll be taking taxi, because you're not allowed to, they're not allowing yet any relatives, friends, or private cars to fetch you. So, you just simply have to take that metered taxi. That is, of course, I think that air, just like what you've said, they're taking your information, right?
yeah, and just for the record, it's not metered. They go by how far it is, and then they tell you
Oh,
a a standard pay, which is not. It wasn't much.
okay, okay.
Yeah, from where I was at to Ermita Malate was like
Mm-hmm.
530 pesos, which is like $10. It's not
Okay.
not bad now. So they take you straight there, get to the hotel, and
Mm-hmm.
then um, they disinfect all your luggage first, and then
Okay.
you check in your room, and that's the process. Now, for in
Mm-hmm.
my case, I'm staying
Mm-hmm.
here for 6 days. Well, I booked my hotel for 10, so I bought it.
Oh, because
I
it
bought my
was a
ticket.
long time
It was
before
10 days.
October 14. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was 10 days. Now it's 6.
Mm-hmm.
So I have 10 days. Um, but I asked for a refund, and they said just call the
Mm-hmm.
number. But I'm so lucky that they actually upgraded my room to a suite
What
because the
did they
hallway
already?
they did.
When
So I'm
was
on a
it?
suite.
I know because the
Just
last time we talked, it's still the I mean, not yet the
yeah,
suite, right?
yeah, regular room. Now they put me in a suite just because I
Okay.
complained about having no hot water.
Oh, okay.
It's like I can't,
It's
every
essential.
time I get into the shower, I'm screaming.
Oh my. I can just imagine.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's
So
yeah, it's
anyways,
better to have hot water. That's good for the health too, because
yeah,
especially your body. I mean, not only your body clock is adjusting, but you know.
yeah, yeah. And I would actually, before you actually choose your hotel,
Uh huh.
uh, I would look at the reviews of the hotel. I'm not going to mention what hotel I chose, but I was told that this hotel is pretty accommodating in other ways that that would be beneficial to the person that's being staying in the hotel. So
Mhm.
I'll leave it to that and won't say any details. But yeah, my stay has been good. It's been hard quarantine. I won't lie to you, because my profession as a nurse is I work at a jail, or the county jail, and I feel like I'm an inmate. Which
So the roles, in a way, was
yeah,
was
yeah. So
reversed.
I can't leave the room, which is not like my cell. They feed you, they bring the food here, and all that stuff. So it feels weird being on the other side, and I
Uh
didn't
huh.
even
Uh
commit
huh.
any crime, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so I have to abide by the rules.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Um,
Okay, sorry, I lost you a bit.
get
Yeah, I think it lagged.
Swab
The video lagged a
tomorrow.
bit.
Detox.
Okay,
There
sorry.
you are.
I think it
Sorry.
lagged a bit.
Yeah,
No, yes, so you were saying, so
sorry about-
tomorrow,
yeah, tomorrow I'm supposed to be swabbed.
a fifth day,
I
okay.
yeah, I've been calling Detoxicare like almost every day. I want to make sure that they're gonna come and swab me,
Uh-huh.
uh, because I don't want to stay here any more longer.
So just a question, because
Yeah,
for us, OFWs, we were given the information to call, we have what we call the OWA parent or someone who is in charge who we can often call. So in your situation as as a non-OFW or balikbayan, so did they give you exact, like just like what you were saying right now, so it's the number of the toxic care?
yeah. They gave me that Detoxicare, but also you remember those groups that I went through.
Yes.
They're actually registering me to have my swab done. That's basically
Okay.
what they're. Yeah, because I called them, and then they also emailed me on day 2, which is the day after.
Mm-hmm.
So the day that you arrive is considered day 1 of your
Uh-huh.
quarantine. On day 2, they emailed
Mm,
me, just verifying my name
good.
and hotel, and then they want the address of the hotel, which I'm pretty sure they can
Mm.
find it themselves. So I had to go online and
Uh-huh.
get their hotel and also your room number.
Mm-hmm.
So I also had to call again yesterday because I had to change my room number on their
Oh, got
profile.
it. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't want them swabbing the wrong person. You know.
Because yes, when he actually arrived, so I was talking to him, so he was in another room. So yes, definitely, at least you were able to
Yeah.
update them. So, is there by any chance like a DOT or Department of Tourism personnel in the hotel, or it's just like a telephone number for you to call the Toxicare?
Yeah.
That's it.
I think Detoxicare is partnered with Philippine Airlines, and I think
Mm-hmm.
a private company or a
Got
private
it.
laboratory that does this through the
Mm-hmm.
government. So they don't
Okay.
work for the government; they're a private company, and they're
Mm-hmm.
actually the same company that swabbed me the
Mm-hmm.
first time I went back in December. But this was done.
Okay.
Swab was done at the airport. If you don't remember,
Oh, yes.
remember that? Yeah.
Yes, yes, I remember that. So, did you fly again with Philippine Airlines during that time?
Yes, unfortunately, I did. Yeah,
Okay,
so I
because
did.
yes, they had. I remember like since last year when the pandemic started, so they definitely have this partner labs. So they're still. I mean, they still have them as
Mhm.
partners. So yes,
Yeah.
I believe that they
So
did that.
yeah, and also IATF and Bureau of Immigration was
Mm.
really enforcing that if you are to fly to the Philippines,
Mm-hmm.
to have as much, well, not to have too many layovers, because they can put
Yes.
that in consideration where you came from. Because if you go, let's say you laid over in Hong Kong or you laid over
Uh
in
huh.
a red list country, they might not even let you in. Yeah,
Oh,
there is
hmm,
one
that's
country
the thing.
that
Yeah.
there's one country in the red list right now. Um, but anyways,
Romania.
yep, Romania.
From
So
Bermuda, it became Romania. Mm.
that's right. Yeah, you're good. Yeah, because I've been checking that out too.
Of
Uh,
course.
but yeah, so they so that's why I picked Philippine Airlines, a direct
Mm-hmm.
shot, no question.
Yes, that will be great.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so that's why I picked it. Plus, I
Mm-hmm.
had a lot of credits.
Yes, of course, the mileage. For me, if I could fly direct, that will be great. But usually for us, they will. Well, sometimes if we are, I mean, my destination or where I'm coming from, like if it's like LA, so I'll
Mm,
get the chance to at least have Philippine Airlines. But sometimes depends also on the season. But yes,
yeah,
I do agree with your advice. So everyone, so sometimes we really want to maximize our resources, financial resources, of course, with this extra expenses for the hotel and then the swab test. But consider also your safety, just like what Derek is sharing to us. Because again, if you might get like a very affordable flight, but then again, if your safety is at stake, so you have to just simply weigh that. And on that note, so we definitely, I'll be asking Derek again by tomorrow once he gets swabbed. Like, how was it? And at the same time, how long did it take for his results to actually be given to him? Because in my situation, it took like 25 to 26 hours. So I'm just, yes, because again, it's from another provider. So for us, it's a Red Cross. So I'm just curious accurately because aside from just reading from different reading materials, we will know from him exactly how long did it take for his results to actually come out. And one great thing is the difference between the last time that he was here and now, for now, is after you get your results, you can check out already, right? Because of
yes,
the
you can.
new rule.
Yes, you can. So the big difference between now and before, and when I say
Mm-hmm.
before, is back in December 2020.
Uh-huh.
Um, we get swab day 5 fully vaccinated, or you get
Mm-hmm.
swab day 8 if you're not fully vaccinated,
Mm-hmm.
coming from the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, December 2020, we were vaccinated. We were actually swabbed at the airport, and that
Ah,
was
yes. Uh-huh.
a mess. I'm telling you, it was a mess. It was not. Um, it wasn't thought correctly. It wasn't, because it was so new.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone had to be. They had so many workers there, just showing people where to go, and it still wasn't. It
Organized.
wasn't smooth. It wasn't organized. It wasn't smooth
Uh-huh.
at all. And one thing is they weren't even practicing social distancing, so
Mm.
that was a big no no for me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So
So
coming
how was
from a
the airport?
healthcare.
Oh, by the way, since you mentioned that, I'm just curious, like in Terminal 2, was it congested or do you think that okay, so not much people in Terminal 2. Okay, that's good to hear. That was the feedback I got last night also from the one I interviewed who
Yeah,
arrived in Terminal 1. Good to hear that.
yeah.
Because because I had to take a flight to Clark International Airport
Oh
because
wow.
they said they have like limitations
Yeah,
for, I mean, the volume of a flight and, of course, the passengers that they can accommodate per terminal in Manila. So it's good to hear that because, again, it's also for our safety.
yeah, true. But here's the crazy part, and
Mm-hmm. Let's hear that.
I might get in trouble for saying this, but you know how the Philippines are very strict on wearing a
Mm.
mask. wearing a face shield,
Yes. Yes.
distancing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I asked the Philippine Airlines representative, which I
Uh-huh.
don't remember. So if because they when I flew, they said, "Oh, you have to wear a mask, you have to wear a shield," and
Mm-hmm.
I said, not until I'm in your plane because right now you're still under U.S. soil,
Yes,
so
correct.
I don't have to wear a shield until I get into that plane. And I said, "Do you guys practice social distancing?" They said, "Yes," but listen to this, but we don't practice it once you get into the plane unless you are first class or business. I said, okay, discrimination, perfect. Yep, you heard me. They don't practice social distancing unless you are first class or business class.
Oh, I think I get what you mean because
Yeah.
for the economy, they don't, all the seats are filled, correct? Is that what
Well,
they mean?
not in this case. It wasn't filled,
Uh-huh. But
but
they
what they're
still
trying,
don't do one seat apart.
they don't do one seat
Yes.
apart.
Same with the other
That's also not six.
airlines.
They're not even. That's not even 6 feet. Sorry, that's like
Gotcha. Point.
two at the most, right? So it
Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm.
should be more than one seat apart. And the customer service told me said that they don't even practice
Mm,
social thing in
mm.
the economy class.
Yes, I understand.
So
Because,
depending on what class you are, they follow the rules.
yes, because last
That
year when I repatriated, so my flight from Barbados to London, we were practicing social distancing before we actually uh, boarded on the plane. And when we were on the plane, we were surprised, like, because we are just like beside one another, just
yeah,
like what you've said. So,
yeah.
well, it seems like to defeated the purpose of social distancing that you were practicing while you are on land, and then suddenly you have to do that on the plane, although they were saying that all precautions were done before you actually board. But well, just like what you've said, you know it better because you're a health practitioner what will be best. Oh,
Yeah.
speaking of, anyway, I'll ask you some questions related to, of course, the booster that you have mentioned earlier. So I really would want to know that. But then again, so now you know the schedule that you have for your swab test for tomorrow,
I do that know that it's coming tomorrow, but
but
they
not
could not
exact time.
know exact time.
Got it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And their rationale for that was
Mm-hmm.
they just have one or two caravans that go from hotel to
Mm.
hotel,
Oh,
so they
got
can't
it.
really tell me exactly how long they'll be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some come in the morning, some come in the afternoon, even some in the evening as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay, then. So anyway, Derek will definitely let us know. So more or less, what time did he get swabbed, and some updates regarding that. Now, so fourth day and a few more days, he definitely, it's freedom.
yeah,
It's how does it feel being quarantined,
like a
especially just
prisoner,
like what you've said earlier.
like a prisoner, like an in.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
few
someone
more
that
days. Mm-hmm.
yeah, but someone that assume that you're guilty without being innocent, which is the complete opposite of where I came from. You're innocent until
Yes.
proven guilty. Uh, so
Like,
yeah, but
exactly.
hey, I got to
Mm,
follow the rules in order for me to come here. Um,
yes, exactly.
and yeah, that's it for now. But I just got off the phone with my cousin. So she's
Uh-huh.
saying that quarantine will be actually deleted or removed November 1st. And this is what I was saying about listening to other people, even their
Mm,
family. And I am yet to clarify that or verify
yes,
that.
because well, good thing that you mentioned that. So for everyone,
Yeah.
same thing. What Derek will be, trying to find out. I even read a news, exactly, what you've mentioned. However, again, I still have to find out and dig a little bit deeper because it was before I slept. Yeah, early this morning. So they mentioned something about that quarantine, but they said November 8th. But it was a proposal from an airline company. I think it's from PAL, if I'm not mistaken, if they could have that removed from fully vaccinated individuals who will be flying. But again, we still don't have the details, so we'll find out and we'll let you know. Let me know, Derrick, what you also have found out, so
Yeah.
that we can combine the information, because we both try to get it from reputable sources, so that at least uh, the rumor and at the same time inaccuracy, we could actually eliminate that as much as we can and give you accurate information. Now, on
Yeah.
that note, transportation going back home. So, did you arrange it yourself, or someone from your family will be fetching you
You mean after the
for the
quarantine?
checkout? Yes.
Um, I normally don't have anybody pick me up because I
Uh
don't like
huh.
bothering anyone. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm either gonna actually have the hotel service drop me
Got
off
it. Uh
home,
huh.
or I can just pick up Grab. It's not
Okay.
really. I'm not too far from here, actually.
Okay. Uh huh.
It's 5 kilometers, and that's it.
Okay. That's quite good. At least. Long travel also is not that good. But then again, for those who might need to travel back to like the provinces and everything, so that's a whole new ball game, right?
Yeah.
Unless you are like you're in Manila. And then Derek did mention a while ago that he got the booster. So Derek, since you're also a health professional, I would rather get the information from you, because a lot of people are talking about boosters and for safety also, and at the same time accuracy. So let's get to know from Derek. So when you say booster, how many months can you actually have it after you got your second vaccine shot? And at the same time, what brand can you, like for example, if you got this certain brand, can you get another brand? And do other brands actually have it, or only we got it from we can get it from one brand?
So I speak of coming from the U.S. only. I'm not sure
Mm-hmm.
what they have here in the Philippines. I know they have other
Mm-hmm.
brands for COVID-19 vaccinations,
Uh-huh.
but in the U.S., the only brand that we have for the booster is just Pfizer. So
Mm-hmm.
you can get the booster for Pfizer if you've already had your second dose, and you've had in your last dose, your second dose of Pfizer is at least 6 months out. So if you've had it more than 6 months, you're qualified to get it. But there's also qualifications to get the booster. You have to be over 65 years old, or if you're
Mm-hmm.
immunocompromised,
Uh-huh.
you have some comorbidities like you're
Mm.
diabetic or
Mhm.
you're obese, stuff like that nature, or you're exposed, or possibly be exposed to COVID-19, or positive people with positive COVID-19, such as healthcare workers, such as I. So I was able to get it instantly.
That's
And the good part, or the thing that I liked
mm,
about the booster shot,
mhm.
what is that this booster shot, or this Pfizer shot that I received, is actually FDA approved in the US. Yeah, so the first two shots I got from Pfizer was not FDA approved. They considered it as emergency vaccination, which was not approved yet by the FDA. But now this COVID booster shot that I received is FDA approved in the United States, and I did receive it, as well as my mother who lives with me
Yeah, that's
in the
good.
US. Yeah.
And I'm glad to hear that. So everyone, we still have to know if it's offered already in the Philippines and what brands are offered in the Philippines, so that at least you can, when once you get it, you'll be safe as well, and you'll not just simply get any brand, and you will be aware as well. And last one that I would want to ask from Derek, for those who are still hesitant to get their vaccination, what advice could you actually give them, so that at least their fears as well as hesitations, could lessen and eventually they could get vaccination?
So here's the thing: being vaccinated is not just about you as a recipient of the vaccination. You have to think about your family, your friends, your loved ones that you live with, or possibly you have contact with, or you're going to be in contact with in the near
Mm-hmm.
future. And I'll tell you why. There is people that are positive in COVID-19 with COVID-19 that are asymptomatic, meaning they show no symptoms. They look like they're normal. They're not. They have no fever, no cough, no shortness of breath, no diarrhea, no loss of taste, loss of smell, etc., etc. All those kind of symptoms. But they can be carrying the COVID-19 vaccine, pass it on to somebody that has comorbidities or elderly or has a weak immunocompromised or has a is immunocompromised or has a weak immune system and actually potentially kill them. So you got to think of it. So you're doing two things. One, you're protecting yourself. Two, you're protecting the people around you. So those are the two things. If you don't really care about you getting COVID-19, that's fine. That's your choice. But also you have to think about your loved ones. If you're a father, a mother, you go home to your family, you have kids. Right now, kids cannot be vaccinated unless they're over 12 in the US. Okay? If they're 11 and below, there is no vaccination for them yet. You have to think about them. Because if you're like me in healthcare, like I think when I go home, I want to be sure I'm not passing this on to my mom. My mom is elderly. She's 70. She's turning 71 next in a couple. And I don't think she would make it if she got COVID-19 because she's elderly and she has a lot of comorbidities. So that's the one thing I would not forgive myself if I brought that home and gave it to her. So that's why where I come from, we get tested every week. It used to be every 2 weeks, but now it's every week if you're fully vaccinated. But that's beyond the point. The point is, get vaccinated for yourself, for your loved ones, for your family, friends, and everybody else, and make this world, a more safer world to be in. That's all I can say for now. And may have this like a sort of like a lesson that if there is another pandemic like situation, then we'll be more ready.
Exactly. Because just like what you've said, we were all caught off guard. I mean, the world, all countries were caught off guard because of this pandemic. And looking forward now because of this, hoping there will be no more pandemic. But, with what is happening, if ever there is another one, just like what you've said, looking forward that we will be more prepared. And again, not everything will stop to a halt simply because of the pandemic, just like what happened in the last year. And also, well, we're getting better now in a way. We're coping, but just like what you've said, hoping our coping mechanism when it comes to facing any pandemic will be better in the coming years. So with that, everyone, I hope that you've learned a lot from what we have shared, especially what Derrick had shared to you. If you are coming from the US and you'll be flying to the Philippines, and even if you're not from the US, at least you know what you have to take into consideration if you're a non-OFW and you're a balikbayan, so that at least, less stress also when it comes to, especially if it's your first time to go back to the Philippines. Derrick had been in the Philippines last December too, so it was quite like a long journey too, right, Derrick, when it comes to preparation of documents and a lot of things. But I'm just simply glad that he's back in the country. So before we actually go, any last advice to anyone? To everyone who's listening to us?
Get vaccinated as soon as you can. That's all I can say. Right now, I don't have a vaccination of choice, but since I'm coming from the US, I'm a little bit biased. But
got it.
Just get vaccinated and protect yourself, protect your family, protect your friends, your loved ones. That's the only way. Always wear a mask. And also here in the Philippines, if you're here in the Philippines, wear your face shield. But if you don't wear a face shield, social distancing is probably the second most important besides the face mask, a face shield. The face mask protects you and protects others from the COVID-19 virus, but then the distance is a lot better than just a shield, So yeah, that's my tips on how to take care of this pandemic. Little by little, more people are getting vaccinated, and hopefully one day, everybody will be vaccinated and the pandemic will be all over. And so if it happens again, whether it happens in 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, 100 years, make this a lesson learned that this is what we do when this happens again.
Exactly. Derrick, thank you so much. I really appreciate, and I believe our viewers to really appreciate what you have shared. That definitely will help them a lot in their preparation to flying back in the Philippines. And I simply look forward also after your swab test tomorrow, and then you'll get the result. You'll be able to enjoy your time here in the Philippines. And I'll see you soon.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day, guys.
Okay, so once again, everyone, stay safe and stay healthy. This is Jamey Iris, simply telling you, see you again in our next video. Thank you. Bye.